If you resonate with this video, consider supporting by subscribing. We upload weekly on self-improvement related topics and diving deep into your own spirituality, aiming to help you achieve inner peace and fresh perspectives towards life, as it is sometimes all you need to open up a completely different life path for yourself. Why does it seem like other people's lives are comedies while yours is a tragedy? Many people tell me they're suffering and can't control their lives, which appear to be one tragedy after another. Have you ever experienced something so upsetting that you didn't want to think about it, but it kept replaying in your mind like a movie, scene by scene, causing you pain? Why does this happen? There's a saying, you reap what you sow. The truth behind this is that when something happens, your initial reaction is beyond your control. If you could control your thoughts completely, you'd be an extraordinary person with a high level of spiritual practice. For most of us, we can't control our initial thoughts. This brings us to an important concept. Different thoughts lead to different perceptions. The same world can appear differently to different people. For example, imagine you're on the subway and a dirty-looking beggar sits next to you. What's your first thought? What image forms in your mind? You might see them as annoying or pitiful. The image that forms depends on your thoughts, as you immediately categorize them based on your concept of them. Whatever thought you download is what gets pushed to you. This is called a habitual thought. Some people might instantly think, how annoying, why is someone so dirty on the subway? Others might think, oh, how pitiful. These thoughts appear instantly, without conscious consideration, reflecting two different thought habits. A thought goes through 10 stages before it fully forms, but we only become aware of it after the first 4 stages. This process happens automatically in the background, based on your thought patterns and habits. It's like watching videos on YouTube. The platform recommends content based on your past preferences and viewing history. Take a moment to consider, if a dirty-looking beggar sat in front of you, would your first thought be that they're annoying or pitiful? The image that forms depends on what kind of thoughts you've cultivated in the past. If you've cultivated more negative thoughts, you'll see more negative images. You can't control or influence this process. If you often engage in negative behaviors or thoughts, you'll naturally be prone to negative perceptions. For instance, if someone suddenly dumps a bucket of water on you while you're walking, would your first thought be positive or negative? If you've been in a negative state of mind, you're likely to have a negative reaction. Some might say they'd immediately try to think positively. If you can shift to a positive thought as your second reaction, not continuing with negative thoughts, that's already impressive. Most of us would probably curse first before we could change our mindset. Why? Because we reap what we sow in our thoughts. At that moment, the thought that naturally arises is something we can't control. It's determined by our past habits. This is how our thoughts shape our perceptions. It's important to remember that things themselves aren't inherently good or bad, they're neutral. They only become bad when our minds perceive them that way. There's a famous story about a student and a Zen master that illustrates this point. After meditating together, the student asked the master if he looked like Buddha. The master said yes. When the master asked the student how he looked, the student said he looked like a pig. Later, the student's sister explained that he had lost the exchange. The master, with Buddha in his heart, saw everyone as Buddha. The student, seeing the master as a pig, revealed his own state of mind. This story teaches us that what we see in others often reflects what's in our own mind. The state of our mind determines how we perceive our lives. We all face problems in our lives. Maybe a spouse who drinks too much or spends too much money, in-laws who are unreasonable, or co-workers who are difficult to work with. When we encounter these unpleasant situations, the outcome depends on how we choose to think about them. You might say, "I know I should change my perspective, but it's too painful. How can I see someone who's hurting me as helping me? Wouldn't that be crazy?" This raises the question, why should we change our perspective? If the benefit of changing our mindset is big enough, should we do it? For example, if you're upset because someone insulted you, and someone tells you to see it as a compliment instead, you might feel it's unfair and want to cry. That's because the benefit of changing your mindset doesn't seem big enough. But what if someone offered you a large sum of money to change your perspective? You'd probably find a way to do it. The key is finding a benefit that's significant enough to motivate you to change your mindset. This is your life's task, to find something valuable enough to make changing your perspective worthwhile. When you find it, you'll be able to shift your mindset in any situation. Once you discover this, you'll truly be on the path to wisdom. Until then, any attempts at personal growth might feel fake or forced because you can't genuinely change your thoughts. So, where can you find this motivation? It's different for everyone, but it often comes from understanding that changing your perspective can lead to greater happiness, better relationships, and a more fulfilling life. When you realize that your thoughts shape your reality and that you have the power to choose more positive, constructive thoughts, you open yourself up to a world of possibilities. Remember, it's not about denying negative experiences or pretending everything is perfect. It's about finding a way to learn and grow from every situation, even the challenging ones. This doesn't mean it's easy. It takes practice and patience. But with time and effort, you can train your mind to see opportunities where you once saw only obstacles. Start small. The next time something frustrating happens, pause and ask yourself, is there another way I could look at this? What could I learn from this situation? By regularly practicing this kind of thinking, you'll gradually build the habit of more positive, flexible thinking. Ultimately, the quality of your life isn't determined by what happens to you, but by how you choose to perceive and respond to what happens. By working on changing your thoughts, you can transform your experience of life from a series of tragedies into a meaningful journey of growth and discovery. Thank you for taking the time to join us on this exploration of how our thoughts shape our reality. Remember, the power to change your life lies within your own mind. Every day presents new opportunities to practice shifting your perspective, and with each small effort, you're building a more positive and resilient mindset. It's not always easy, but it's a journey worth taking. We hope these ideas have inspired you to look at your challenges in a new light and to find the motivation to make positive changes in your life. Keep growing, keep learning, and most importantly, keep believing in your ability to transform your thoughts and, in turn, your life. Thank you for being part of this conversation, and we wish you all the best on your personal growth journey. Until next time.